Algebra 1 EOC practice test number 17. Consider the equation x squared minus 12x plus 49 equals 22. Which equation has the same solutions as the given equation? Alright, so when I see this equation, I immediately think I need to put it in factored form in order for it to look like this. And if I can make this look like one of these, if it's the same equation, then it's going to have the same solutions. Alright, so the first thing I'm going to think is to write it in factored form. What do I need? I need a squared plus 2ab plus b squared. Why? Because I know that equals a plus b quantity squared, which is the form here. Alright, also a squared plus 2a, actually I need a negative here, hold on. If I have a negative in the middle, everything else is the same. That gives me a minus b quantity squared. All right, so these are very important for many reasons. One, we can rewrite the equation by using this, and then again, you'll see factoring on the EOC, on ACT, and every class beyond this class, you will see factoring. So understanding how to factor and how to use it in different ways is very important. Alright, so I'm going to try to rewrite this. So I need to complete the square. This is a perfect square trinomial, and when I have a perfect square, I can rewrite it in factored form as a binomial squared. Alright, so I'm going to have x squared minus 12x plus 49 equals 22. And I know that I need something squared, which I have. The middle term I'm fine with. I'm going to use the middle term to see what I need for this last term. Okay, because I know the middle term is 2ab. So what I'm going to do to find this last term is I'm going to take the middle term and I'm going to half it and then square it. This is called completing the square. Alright, so if I have negative 12 divided by 2 is negative 6. If I take that and square it, that's 36. Alright, so if I have 36 in this last position, excuse me, then I'm going to have a perfect square trinomial and I can rewrite it in factored form. So in order to do that, I have to subtract 13. So I'm going to subtract 13 from both sides. When you have an equation, you have to do the same thing to both sides. So I have x squared minus 12x plus, now I have 36, which is going to complete the square here. And then 22 minus 13 is 9. Now, why did we do this? We did this so it fits in this form up here. Since there's a minus, I know it's going to be the second formula here. So it's a difference of squares. All right. So what we're going to do is now rewrite this. We have a squared minus 2ab, that's built in the middle, and then plus b squared. We found this by just manipulating that middle term over here. We have to and squared it, and that makes it fit this formula. Now we can rewrite it like a minus b squared. So my a in this case is x minus, and b squared is 36, so b has to be 6 equals 9. So that's the fastest and easiest way to get the answer. You can see the answer is a there. If you are not familiar with these factoring expressions, I hope you become familiar with them. But for the EOC, you can find the answer in a different way. Alright, so what you can do is set the first equation equal to 0. Alright, if you set the first equation equal to 0, you're going to take 49 and subtract 22. So 49 minus 22 is 27. So I'm going to have x squared minus 12x plus 27 equals 0. Once I have this equal to 0, I can graph it and find the zeros or the x-intercept using my calculator. So that's going to give me the solution, not these equations. But what I also can do is take each one of these equations and set it equal to 0. So a would be x minus 6 squared minus 9 equals 0, because we have to subtract 9. B would be x minus 7 squared minus 22 equals 0. C would be x plus 7. Hopefully you see what I'm doing here. And this is not the best practice. This is just a testing strategy if you don't know how to factor very well. This one's minus 27, so that's actually going to be plus 27 when we add it to the other side and set it equal to 0. So now that these are set equal to 0, you can also plug these in your calculator and see which one has the same solution as the one we started with. So very quickly, okay, let me erase some of this stuff here. And I don't care which method you use, but I do hope that you practice factoring and try to understand to do it that way, because you are going to see factoring pretty much in every math class you have. All right, now that we can see the calculator, let's go to graph. And we can graph the first one, which is x squared minus 12x. And there is a negative here and there's a minus here, and you got to be careful. This is like negative x squared, but this is minus 12x. So if you put the wrong sign in, it's going to say error, and it may not be an error. You may just, the calculator is very picky on which way you put it. So see how this says invalid dimensions? I need to go to my window. Let's see, let's go second. See if it'll let me do zoom 6. Okay, so maybe I typed it in wrong. Let's see, y equals. Maybe it wants a negative here. All right, let's try negative and see what happens. Something's going on with my graph. Alright, so I'm going to look at my window and see what's going on. So my minimum, maximum, minimum, maximum, it looks like everything's okay, but it's saying invalid dimensions. Huh. Okay, let's try a different equation and see what happens. So x, actually let me clear out my whole memory, and that may, okay, so I'm going to do second plus 7, 1, 2. So whatever crazy thing is going on in my calculator, I just cleared it out and reset it. So now I'm going to go back and try this one more time. X squared minus 12x plus 27. Hit enter. Now see if it'll graph it for me. Okay, so I don't know why it was not graphing it before, but now it's going to graph it. So you can see 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So 3 and 9 are my solutions here. All right, if I go back and I hit clear, I'm going to type in A here. So I'm going to type in exactly how it is. So I'm going to do x minus 6 quantity squared, and then I'm going to go minus 9, and now I'm going to hit graph. And if it graphs correctly, I should get the same answer. So there's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So 3 and 9. So by graphing, you can also see that the correct answer is A. And also, kind of a good thing to know, if something's going on with your calculator, you may just need to clear the memory and start over. I have no idea why it wasn't working, but thankfully I could show you that there are 2 ways to do this. So you can factor it by completing the square, or you can set each one equal to 0 and then find the zeros or the x-intercept to see that A is your solution. All right, that's number 17.